Do you guys want to guess
It is
what's
it.
the most typical Christmas food in Zimbabwe?
What?
Rice and chicken.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, Christmas time.
Not
Rice and
surprised about the chicken.
Yeah. And then we do like barbecues with pork and stuff. But
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
there was every holiday in Zim has some chicken to do with it. I mean, we eat chicken otherwise, but
It's like chicken stewed or chicken grilled. Doesn't matter.
it's usually like grilled chicken on like special occasions, because then you like really get it marinated, then you do the barbecues with it, or you put it in your oven and stuff like that. The kind of like stewy chicken is like your day to day kind of yeah.
What about Mexico? What is your Christmas meal?
I there's some things that people do, but I don't know, because I've talked with many people that have completely different kind of foods. What we had at my grandma's was we had everyone cooked something, and there was some things that were
Like a
always
potluck
there.
or-
Yeah, but there was some things
family.
that were always there. Some things that, for example, my dad would always change the dish.
Yeah.
And he made, for example, like some stuffed fish one day. I remember one day we made these like stuffed shrimps with cream cheese, and then like the same dough from Jolu Tortu, just wrapped.
Oh.
And then we made like some habanero and mangoes dip that you could dip them. But there was always some either shrimp or crab soup, tomato based and spicy, especially for the next day hangover, because we make a lot of food. And then you have the 24th is just family. 25th you can have friends over and stuff. So it was like a bigger meal, and it's again the same food. We always made some kind of pasta. Usually my aunt made some spinach lasagna. But I think, for example, this like just cream spaghetti with a bit of ham. That's like very common for Christmas. My grandma, for example, used to make bacalao. It's this like salted
Oh,
cod.
yeah.
And then you clean it for days, because you have to take the salt and the bones and stuff, and then you make it like tomato based. They call it a la vizcaína, and it's just like tomato based. This is Spanish with like capers and olives and stuff.
Yep.
Mole is very, very traditional, either with guajolote like turkey or chicken, or they make this like a dried shrimp patties with romerito. It's a herb. It's like some herb that you throw in. It's like I don't even know. I don't like them, but it's like a herb that they throw in there, and it just makes a mess kind of thing with the mole. Then you have, for example, we have in my city we have these chipotles. It's a dried chili they stuff with cheese, and then they cover with egg and deep fry. Those are good.
Yeah.
My family used to make these jalapenos, like the pickled ones. Open them, stuff them with tuna fish, like with tomato cooked tuna fish. Then you have the usual like the apple and cream salad kind of thing.
Yeah.
You have like some pork, usually some
Wait, so a chipotle is a type of chili?
Yes.
So Christmas foods, So,
But
my main thing was that the ham, because the way she was describing me, like and then so I asked her, "How'd you cook this?" Yeah, I smothered it with honey. Yeah,
Put it in the oven.
put it in the oven. Then I take it down and I cool it. I'm like, why can't you just take it out and just serve it?
But people take pride of this. I think it's the same as I guess in the US. And people take pride of it, and everyone has their own recipe. And for example, at work, at the last
But in America, it's mostly warm. It's never cold.
I think
cold the next day, you make a sandwich out of it.
Okay, I see what you mean.
But
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah, I still enjoy it. Like it is what it is. It's one of those. I mean, to be honest with you, like coming from the diverse Christmas food palette that we have at home, I'm just excited.
Yeah.
But I also thought it was interesting. So you guys both celebrate Christmas on the 24th, because we don't do the 24th.
Okay.
We only do the 25th.
So we're a Buddhist
But
family.
here now,
So we're a Buddhist family,
Yeah.
and I didn't know until I was a little older. But when we were younger, because we came to America like 75, and then once we got to the age where we go to school with other people that are Christian, Catholic, whatever, and they celebrate Christmas. So my parents, they wanted to make us feel like welcome.
Yeah.
So they put a Christmas tree up, have presents, but we make Vietnamese food.
Okay.
Yeah. We make it. But to us, Christmas wasn't about
Jesus Christ.
The baby Jesus' birthday.
Yeah,
To
okay.
us, it's just like a family get together.
Yeah.
And then as our family from Vietnam came, Christmas was just a time for us to get together.
Yeah.
Because everybody had the holidays
Oh, they did
off.
at the same
so-
time. Yeah. So
But
what was that on the 25th or the 24th?
We opened presents on the 25th.
Okay.
For me, it was the 24th. That's
Yeah,
when we.
yeah.
But we usually, in my family, how it went is 24th at 9 p.m. we would go to church.
Yeah.
And there's no service, no anything. But my mom liked to go. I grew up Catholic, but none of my parents really were Catholic. Like we just
go through the motions because that's
we went there when there was like some party,
like
someone
mass.
getting married
Yeah.
or whatever. and then when they're like on Christmas, my mom on New Year, my mom liked to go at 9, we'd sit there, say thanks for the year, whatever, like 5-10 minutes, and then we'd go to my grandma's house, and then everyone came there, like all my cousins and aunts and stuff. And then there was especially when there was younger people, there was always they have the baby Jesus that they dress before and stuff, and then you kind of like sing to him because now we're gonna kind of like put him on the thing.
You have a baby Jesus piñata.
But that's no. that's later. No, the piñata parties are actually from the day of Christmas. I think it's like 12 days or something like that.
I thought piñata just something you do on Mexican birthday parties.
No, it's before.
Quinceañeras.
No, because you make posadas, which is it's a party that celebrates the journey from this Joseph and Mary that they're looking for a place to stay and
to
have
the
a
manger.
kid.
Yeah.
And actually, the whole celebration usually you have the party gets split in two, and then you have like the singing, and some people are inside the house.
I know that. See, I learned.
So some people are inside the house, some people are outside, and you sing. It's like, can I have like can we have a place
Christmas
to stay
caroling.
and stuff? No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then you go and then sing again. Oh, can we stay here until someone is like, yeah, you can come in, and then people sing, and then you break the piñata and stuff. And it's like the whole nowadays. No one cares, man. It's like more a reason to get wasted, but it used to be like a thing that is like certain amount of days. I don't remember exactly how many, 7, 12 before Christmas. It's kind of, it leads to Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Christmas calendar thing, like if you actually look at a lot of the Christmas calendars, they kind of have that whole story as you go through the days. But people are just looking at them like chocolate, you know what I say?
Yes.
But it's there. And then I think this whole Christmas caroling thing where people come outside of the house or out of your neighborhood and they start singing outside of the house and they make you open the door is an ode to that old tradition, but it's not. But nowadays, Christmas is a Coca-Cola advert, right? It's red and white, and it's just
it's a Hallmark holiday.
Yeah, it's a Hallmark holiday.
Like Christmas,
we never
Easter, Valentine, Halloween,
all of it. But,
but in Mexico, I think a lot of these, like the posadas and stuff, there's still a lot of people who keep the tradition. Yeah, there's always someone in the family.
There is some Christmas
like,
traditions though. I went to Catholic school for 2 years. Oh yeah, I remember that.
I mean, my mom's Catholic. My dad's side of the family was Salvation Army, but in Scandinavia, the Salvation Army is not really like a church, right? It's like secondhand stores.
Yeah.
But in a lot of parts of Southern Africa, there's Salvation Army churches. So my dad's side of the family were Salvationists, and my mom's side of the family were Roman Catholic. So,
bruh,
yeah.
The only reason why I went to Catholic private school was after living in America for my parents struggling for a couple of years, they realized that the public school system is shit. That you have to go to private school.
Schools, yeah.
So I remember my first day, I had a Buddha on my necklace.
Yeah.
My mom took it off and put a cross on it. She was like, "You're now Catholic."
That's a swish. That's a swish.
I was too young to know the
to understand.
I wasn't really religious anyway, but my parents were like, I went to mass. I was a choir boy. I told you I was a choir boy.
Yeah.
But I went through all that. I went through all that, and I don't. Yeah, but I guess it was good education. I have no idea.
like in Zim, the Catholic schools do have good reputation for like they have some really good schools. Shout out to a couple of schools that
Shout out.
And they know. Yeah.
All the girls I know that went to Catholic school end up being strippers.
Yeah.
So I tell you all you need to know. Not all, like 8 out of 10. That's a fact, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyways, so back to the Finnish food. Some positive things.
Yeah.
What I did like was this thing that I tasted for the first time.
Yeah.
It was the egg and butter mixture. And we put it on the
potato
pie.
Yeah, karjalan.
And the new potatoes.
Yeah.
That's not really
I
Christmas.
thought that was fucking. What I'm talking about the good food that I
Good
had.
food.
Oh, the good food.
Yeah. Some of the good foods that I had, like the good Finnish food I had was that dish.
Yeah, I love that as well.
You know what? I have a lot of them because we've had this conversation before. We had it I think on that we had a similar conversation, but I've had this conversation with a lot of foreigners, and you always hear people complaining about the food here. But I actually think the food here, because people say like, oh, it's bland, it's whatever. And I agree, of course, if I compare it, like side
to what we had here.
Side to side to Mexican food, of course, it's nothing even close. But I really enjoy most Finnish food because it's I think people here embrace more the idea of like everything's fresh. When you have like the new potatoes with like some fish on the side, it's always like super fresh, very good. Like the product itself is really good, good quality, really good mushrooms, really good. So I think that's the whole idea behind Finnish food, right? You take what's fresh at the time, and then you enjoy that, and you really enjoy the flavor. You don't overpower it with anything else, and I like those kind of things. If you compare it with your mind of I have mole, and then I have a new potato. Of course, it's not even close with the spiciness, right? But you have to see like dishes for what they are and the context and everything. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love Finnish berries. I think they're dope.
That's the only thing that's native to Finland.
I like the
Finnish fruit is just amazing. It's just berries and
because I like, for example, all the raspberries. Like because we have raspberries in Mexico, but they're always acid and they're not good.
Yeah.
And then when you try it here, it's like it's a different fruit.
You're picking it off a tree, you eat it. You ain't fucking with it. You're not manipulating it unless you're making a jam.
But I love it.
But take a tomato here, take a tomato from Italy or like Mexico.
Okay.
It tastes completely different still.
Yeah.
Even though you're just taking it from the ground.
What I'm saying, like, we talk about Finnish cuisine. He's just literally picking it off the tree.
But I have to say, I don't know if I've mentioned this before.
I mean, if you want to use a knife and fork with the raspberry,
freeze them up first and get a little bit of texture change. But there's a restaurant in Helsinki that does
berries?
well, not too far from it, but like I think it's 3-4 course meals made purely of Finnish goods, and I was pleasantly surprised with what they could put together, like just off of. There's no like salt because Finland doesn't have its own salt, so they use
salt.
They don't use like salt in their food because Finland doesn't produce any salt.
Traditionally, it's not produced.
Yeah, so they go and find like a herb or something that could give that flavor of salt in the food. But like I said to you, I need to take you there so that you experience it. Then you can give a proper review because
we have had this conversation before. I disapprove this.
No, we should definitely next time we go to Helsinki, let's go eat there. But we have to book the table in advance because I think they only have like 6 or 7 tables or something. Yeah, or 8 tables. Like it's a very small restaurant.
Is it called like elderberries and seaborn duck?
I don't remember the name. I'm not gonna. I don't remember their name. But it was good. It was good.
Okay,
Even the wine is like berry wine from here.
Not putting salt in food is to me just I don't.
But there are other things that taste like salt other than salt.
MSG.
Like fish sauce, MSG.
Maybe I don't know what they use.
Sriracha.
But it was good. It was good.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we'll have to try it. Anyway, I mean, Christmas is coming, man, and you know what's something I like here that I don't know if it's every family does it, but here at least my girlfriend's family has this. After dinner, then you go to the couch. We're opening the gifts and stuff. And then you have a bit of a bit of a board with cheese.
Okay.
A bit of a board
charcuterie.
With just this couple of snacks, and you're having a glass of wine, maybe some glügi, maybe some tequila on the side. Just you're feeling spicy, and just having snacks, chilling with the family. I think that's pretty nice. I mean,
I like that. I enjoy the part where you open your gifts and then you go to the sauna. But one of the most interesting things every Christmas for me is that when the whole family gathers, there's always that kid that's just on the border of like realizing that Santa isn't real. And you get to witness it firsthand. Like you're all sitting as a family, it's like a bunch of kids, and there's all of those kids that are super excited, and then there's that one kid who's like doubtful, and then Santa comes, and then he's like, Grandpa?
Right. That is not a thing. That is you just
First
observation.
Observation. First they take the gift, but you could see him wondering, like, I know that dude.
Yeah.
Bro,
I know.
this is not a thing in Mexico.
Yeah.
This is not a thing in Mexico, but here I've seen it. It's very common that Santa will come to your house and visit the kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In America, it's the same, right?
Yeah, in America, same.
No, bro, in Mexico that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, I remember driving around. We were going to like wherever we were celebrating Christmas and seeing, hey, there's a Santa going to the house. Hey, there's a Santa. Like, what the fuck's happening?
We would go visit Santa. Like he would
You go
never
to a
come to
mall.
a house. Yeah, you go to a mall and then you see Santa.
Yeah, the rapey guy that,
That takes all the kids.
bouncing the toddlers on her laps.
I remember this one time. I don't know what was going on, and then I was trying to be like a good family member. I'm like, I can volunteer to be Santa this December. And everybody's kind of like quiet, like.
Black Santa should be the name of your next album.
Yeah.
But then you have this, like, because I remember when I was a kid.
Yeah. I think this was in Sweden, yeah, but yeah.
Because I remember we were a kid. I was a kid and we had a chimney.
Yeah.
So they were like, the whole thing.
I think we're gonna need to cut that out.
And then no, we were sitting there. And like, and I remember thinking, in Mexico, no one has a chimney. Our house
That's
was
true.
Our house was like
That's
We
the
have
way.
chimneys, but
our house
American,
was
that's
like
the bougie American
the
thing,
odd
yeah,
one
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And I remember being a kid, and they were like, yeah, Santa comes from the chimney and stuff. And I'm like,
what fucking chimney?
but no one has, like, none of my friends have a chimney.
Yeah.
Like, where was Santa coming? And then you always get
You thank America for that.
Yeah.
from the window. Wait a second, but
My windows are closed.
We have bars in our window.
And burglar bars. Yeah.
But we have alarms.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but Santa can deactivate those. Okay. And then you're like, but what about the bars?
Yeah.
No, but he can. And you're that kid that you're like, none of this makes sense.
Yeah.
None of it,
Yeah.
Yeah, but my parents weren't even like, they're like, yeah, there's no Santa, but we're gonna buy you presents because it's family thing. We love
Yeah.
you.
You know what my brother did?
I think that's fair.
My dad was like, man, as long as you believe in Santa, Santa will bring gifts. Motherfucking
I like
15. I still believe in Santa, motherfucker.
That's a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah, but did you guys realize that in Finland, right, where we consider Santa to be somewhere in the north, the name Joulupukki, which is like Christmas goat, was a pretty bad motherfucker. Like he wasn't the friendly, jolly old man.
As in bad or
You can Google Joulupukki. It basically looks like the old depiction of the devil, and he would come around and beat up kids that were naughty the whole year. That was kind of like the whole Joulupukki thing.
Okay.
So it was a reverse Santa. He's like,
Yeah.
he didn't bring gifts, he would punish.
He was basically the Grinch, right?
I wonder if that has to do because Christmas is the holiday is pagan holiday. Obviously,
is,
it's based on the
I think
lunar
that
cycle.
is more close to what the origin was.
Yeah. And then they try to make stories that relate to that.
You have to watch these rare exports. There's a movie like very famous Finnish movie about.
Is that
this kind of
Pornhub?
thing.
Rare exports?
Probably not.
God damn.
But you should watch it. It's because it tells this story. I think it's quite popular. It probably has subtitles.
That's the original Joulupukki.
So I think it's based on pagan holiday. Cause
Yeah,
they're
it is.
probably, Yeah.
But this was way before Christianity came here.
Yeah, that's what I
but it
mean.
was-
a bit like the Krampus in Germany, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Shit.
It was a pretty scary thing, right? And then come and whip all of the naughty kids and stuff. But but that's. I think there's a lot of documentaries that came out, right, when I think the same company that turned the marketing around Christmas to the red and white and the whole thing was the same company that also did Diamonds Are a Woman's or a Girl's Best Friend. Like, and it was the same company that also got cigarettes big. Like there was a company that was changing the world in their marketing campaigns and doing some major moves. And I mean, diamonds weren't that precious. Not
the Bears, the Boers.
Yeah. So when De Beers got this marketing company in there, and they were like, diamonds are a girl's best friend, and you need to spend 3 months of your salary to buy an engagement ring.
Yeah.
Bruh. That's when it became like a thing. Yeah. Other than that, then those stones are not as rare as people think that they are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people used to kick them around. And yeah.
One more thing that it now came to my mind, talking about these gifts and stuff. Do you have anything? Because, for example, in Mexico, you have the Santa comes on the night of 24th to 25th, right? So when you
Christmas Eve.
When you wake up, you're on the 25th.
You have presents. Yeah.
In I guess Central America, I don't know, especially the countries, but I know, for example, in Costa Rica, it's not Santa that brings the gifts; it's baby Jesus, because that's the day where he was born. So baby Jesus brings the gifts.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, allegedly, yes, I agree, but that's the tradition.
Yeah.
But for example, in Mexico, we have Santa. And Santa will usually bring you clothes or things that you need. Mm-hmm. And then on the January 6th, Loppi Island here in Finland.
January 6th.
Yeah.
Triggered.
then you get the...
Resurrection Day. Insurrection Day.
Yeah. No, in Mexico, you get the three kings that came to bring gifts to Jesus and stuff. Yeah. They also bring gifts. So when kids wake up from the 5th to the 6th, then the three kings have come, and then they bring the gifts, and that's when they bring you toys and stuff like.
Okay.
So we have two days where you get gifts. So if you're a parent, you should save up.
Yeah, we used to get gifts only on the 25th, but you would wake up with your parents would have bought you clothes and things that you would need, right? So but we never used to get like toys per se. Okay. We never really had that. Then you had the 25th, and then you had the 26th, which was Boxing Day. Mm-hmm. So that was the day after Family Day, and you could just party hard. Party as hard as you can. And for most people, because they're on holiday, you just party all the way until like New Year's. You stop partying on the 1st. But 6th, we didn't have holidays about the Three Kings. You might hear about it at Mass, at church or something. But
in Mexico, we have the Guadalupe Reyes Marathon. Mm-hmm. On the 12th of December, we celebrate the Guadalupe Virgin. It's like the kind of a bit like Virgin Mary, but like the biggest in Mexico, the most popular one. December 12th, and then you have posadas, these parties that are like leading to Christmas. And then, so it basically means that you start partying on the 12th of December and you finish on January 6th. It's a rough season.
Yeah. The weird thing is that in America, Christmas Eve is not normally known as drinking. I mean, drinking within a family. Yeah. But Thanksgiving Eve is one of the biggest drinking days of the year in America.
Friends kind of thing.
Yeah. Because you're in town with your family. And then, high school buzz, whatever, you go out and drinking. Yeah. Where Christmas is more like, you can't be hanging out for your family. But like your immediate family, you know what I mean? Christmas is like opening presents. Yeah. But Thanksgiving is like, you can still be hungover and watch football. And, carve a turkey.
Yeah. I think similar to you guys, like for us, December is the season. Like people are, like everybody that lives outside of, your home country is coming back in December.
Yeah.
It's clubs, it's parties, it's like your old schoolmates. Like December is crazy in Southern Africa. All of the biggest festivals are happening in December because it's warm season, right?
It's like summer.
Everything.
Kind of thing.
It's summer. It's like jazz festivals, your Jameson festivals. People are in Victoria Falls. It's just party season all the way until like New Year's. And I love it. I think it's really nice. I always recommend people to come and visit Southern Africa during that time.
On summer.
Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah.
Sorry, not for me.
Yeah. No, so you'd rather be here in like minus 20, 30 degrees Celsius?
I'll take minus 30 over plus 35 any day.
Well, I think you would enjoy the Southern African vibe. I think you would.
Florida's about 20, 24. So during December, that's good.
I mean, but that's the range, right? It's like 20 to 30 something.
30 something.
So we actually haven't tasted these two.
Try them before we close this thing.
Yeah, because we need to shut it down.
This is salsa. Here's the thing, right? People say salsa is this like the thing that you buy from from the jar, and it's but salsa is like any sauce. Salsa means sauce.
Okay.
So we have many different kinds of salsa. This is a very simple one.
Okay.
This stone is called a molcajete, and molcajetes are just like mortar. They're made of volcanic stone.
Okay.
Yeah, the texture is better than a blender, in my opinion.
Putting...
Because then you get this like a bit more, I don't know, like thicker texture. Because if you would blend this, it becomes liquid, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and a lot of people say like it tastes better. You get a bit of the stone and stuff.
Yeah.
But all I did, usually you put them on a skillet, char these, or on the grill or whatever. Just char all the ingredients: onion, garlic, chilies, tomato. Blend them together with salt.
Yeah.
Like smash them. I do it on air fryer.
Nice.
So pro tip: 200, 14 minutes. Burn everything, smash it together. You get the best salsa you can make at home.
Nice. Really good. I was looking at it. I'm like, it looks like a tabletop grill.
A bit.
Like if you didn't have the salsa in there and you just had like a few charcoals and a little metal thing on top, you could just like barbecue some meat. The sauce is like, the salsa is absolutely nice. It's not too overpowering. It feels like almost like stewy, but like very fresh. I love it. Yeah. So you grill the tomato, like every green that you have first, and then you grind them together.
Yeah.
And then the liquid comes from...
And you have to do it in a certain way.
Okay.
I start with the garlic, continue with the onion, then the chilies.
Okay.
So I add salt with the garlic, and then at the end you throw in the tomatoes, because tomato is what has the liquid.
Okay.
And then the liquid will make it very hard for you to smash everything together.
Okay.
So that's what you do it at the end. Bam, done. But it's very simple.
Yeah.
And you can.
So it's the tomato that's the liquid. There's no water. There's no.
Else.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
This like the stone turns everything into like a paste. So then you just mix everything.
Yeah.
Very simple. If you throw it in the blender, it's the same. It's also very, very easy.
Yeah.
So I believe we do have a dessert aperitif from Mexico. So what do we got here, Renee? We got some dessert aperitifs.
Yes. Just for closing the whole meal. It's very common in Mexico that after a big meal you will have a shot of tequila or mezcal. You don't have to shot it. We actually, for mezcal, for example, there's a verb called, I think it's libar, the infinitive, that it means to, basically you drink it by kissing it. So it's like just very small sips, you just enjoy it. And for this mezcal, this is a young mezcal, it's very nice. It's a bit more smoky. The process is similar to tequila, but this is a bit more smoked. I have some orange here. And then I have this sal de gusano. This is the plant they use, the maguey, they use to make mezcal and tequila. It also has a worm sometimes inside. And that worm, we've talked about this, I think it becomes quite expensive. And this salt is basically half salt, half the worm, just turned into powder.
Right,
okay.
And usually you have these with the orange. You can just like sprinkle it on top. And then you can have these on the side with have a sip of mezcal.
Give me a straw.
Try a bit of the orange, the salt. Just enjoy the flavor. Like they will complement quite nicely because it's sweet with the smokiness.
Yeah. Nice.
So of course it complements. I think it's just something, after the food.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys will like it. I think mezcal.
Of course I would.
Mezcal used to be this very cheap kind of thing. Okay. And then it became popular. And now it's a thing. It's like a fancy thing. You have a lot of these mezcal cocktail bars. And so nowadays it's a thing that's a bit fancier. You can find, in Alco, you can find some mezcal.
Yeah.
So it's been growing quite a lot.
Oh my God.
I think
it complements each other.
Yeah, me who I like whiskey a lot, like the smokiness. I enjoy these more than tequila, but of course it's different tastes.
All right, I'm gonna try it now. Wait. So is it same order?
Sip, whatever.
It's up to you. I think. I'm not really sure if there's like a specific order.
I think sip first and then.
That's very smoky. It almost tastes like that
Irish whiskey,
like the Terva whiskey, like Terrenpelli. Like if you go to Terrenpelli and you have their whiskey, they have this flavor profile as well. Yeah.
This one is a bit stronger than tequila we had. It's not as smooth, but I think it's very nice.
I like that.
It's still not the burning sensation that I makes you feel like I have to shot these and get it over with quickly.
The thing that I wanted to bring for this evening would have been like, so our traditional, like your tequila and, is called cachaço.
Is it like similar to cachaça, like like Brazilian Portuguese? I don't know.
But this again goes back to what I was saying earlier about Zimbabwe and the Portuguese history before the Brits. That I don't know where that name comes from. So I don't want to make a postulation because I'm pretty sure we're going to get a lot of feedback on it.
But then people will tell you if you're wrong.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We don't fact check. Yeah. So.
But cachaço is basically like it's almost like a gin, but they make it, in different places, in different ways, in different places. Like, so, but the one that I like, you can mix it with different like herbal plants that you get. So in Finland, it would be like your berry flavored gin or like a. But a friend of mine, actually a couple who used to live here in Finland, they moved back to Zim and they actually started their own because it was shunned upon. It was almost like your moonshine thing. Okay. So, but the couple, they went back to Zimbabwe. They started a company, and they're making cachaço as part of their business. And I think that's pretty awesome.
That's interesting. So I learned today a bunch of things, but again, I learned that in Mexico, you drink this as like a dessert. I didn't know that. And it works fucking
it's not,
good.
I mean, I don't know. Like, if everyone does it, it's not like a dessert. It's like
aperitif or,
especially after mole. Things that are very greasy.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. You have a version of it. Interestingly, Vietnam, Southeast Asia, as great as it is, like culinary-wise, we ain't got shit for liquor, man.
Really? Not even like a rice liquor?
But don't you do the thing that you drink with the...
So what we do is...
with the...
We have Henny.
Snake.
We have Henny and Heineken. If you go to any Vietnamese restaurant,
there's Henny and Heineken.
They will have Henny and Heineken, right?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, right?
I'm good with that. Let's go
with the brothers, right? We got the Henny and Heineken.
Nice.
But for liquor, what they do is and they sell to tourists also, because I bought one. They put like a whole lizard or a snake inside Henny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, it tastes good, man.
Wow.
In Henny.
I thought they had their own...
Yeah. No, I mean, of course, everybody has their own moonshine, but I mean, there's not a label, like a Vietnamese label, like liquor, Vietnamese label, vodka. Okay. If I'm wrong, make a comment, let me know, but to my knowledge, there isn't anything.
Why do you think that is? Because, for example, we have a tequila that became a thing, and it's like, now it's like champagne, right? But
you never drank with a bunch of Vietnamese people at the table. you did not want to introduce hard liquor there.
Was that the problem?
Don't do hard liquor, yeah.
Because my like...
It's not a genetic thing, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I've met a lot of, like, for example, Chinese people, and I don't know if it's the whole region or just...
Or is it mostly Japanese?
But a lot of people from China don't have the enzyme that
you're gonna have to edit this shit.
No.
Because I mean, this was a Chinese guy that told me this.
Because
it was like when I was studying in Germany, there was a large group. It was like we were like 60 exchange students, and maybe 40 were from China. And I used to play basketball with them. They had a really tall, Yao Ming kind of thing. Yeah. This guy was not as tall, but he was like one of those that stands out from everyone. Yeah. He was really good. And I used to play with them very often, and I went to eat with them a few times, and they were drinking in the same parties with us. And I remember they would be like, everyone's drinking heavily, like the Germans did, like everyone. And then those guys would buy a bottle of Bacardi for 20. And then they would sip it like very, like, no, I'll just have one. And all of them were like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And what he was saying is like, well, a lot of people don't have this enzyme that process alcohol. So you don't drink much before you, like, it hits you very hard. And also it's not a thing. It's very frowned upon for you to drink. Yeah. And so people
I'm not sure it's frowned upon. Like for my couple of times in Vietnam drinking with friends, we just want to enjoy it. So beer, it lasts longer.
Yeah.
Where you get shots of, come on, we don't know the Jaeger effect here. It goes downhill quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's just not any good. And for the thing with the Asian flush is a real thing. When Asian drinks, not everybody. I'm part French, so my genetics is a little bit different. But it's the skin of grapes.
Okay.
Tannins that a large majority of Asians they're allergic. They're not
They
allergic.
can't process it.
Yeah, they can't process it properly, so they get the Asian flush. So
That's why
they
they get
turn red. Yeah, so me, I love red wine, but I
Yeah.
can't drink a lot of it.
Okay.
If I drink more than like 2 bottles,
Yeah.
I get that Asian flush, and I'm like, oh,
Okay.
yeah. It's the
Yeah.
tannins. White wine, I'm cool with.
Okay.
But the red wines, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing that I didn't buy South African red wine today because I
Oh
almost
my
bought
God,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like his
Obvious.
excuse.
Yeah.
Like, no, I cannot do red wine like the tannins, you know. Give me a double vodka.
And let's just get straight to business, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I
don't
used to
know.
have a friend from Japan who couldn't handle liquor. So, you know, like it just didn't, like, I don't know. It was just one of those
But
things.
the thing is that they love liquor there.
Like,
so-
apparently you can't even go home until the boss goes home.
Yeah.
Like,
so
that's
people
insane.
are passing out like on the subways.
Sleeping on the street.
sleeping on the street. Yeah. So we're in Japan this year. Yeah, we're in Japan recently. We're going again next year.
Yeah.
But the bars we went to, they have liquor bottles. Sun 30 is a brand in it's like a Anheuser-Busch. You know, they produce like a lot of different types of whiskeys. But it's like their cheapest form of whiskey. It's like you can buy it for like €8 a bottle.
Yeah.
And well, of course at the bar you pay like probably 20-30 euros for a bottle. But
So you pay Finnish prices.
yeah. But you have that bottle at the bar with your name on it. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
only
you
for
don't
use.
get it like
yeah,
the-
so when you come in, so you already paid for it, so
Yeah.
it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just order it and it's pour for you.
Oh, so you can.
And you don't
on
even need
different
to-
yeah,
visits.
yeah, you can come to different visits.
Oh.
Yeah.
You don't need to finish it on the same day. Come
No,
back and be
no,
like,
no,
I
no.
still have my bottle, right?
Yeah, you say the bottle. Yeah,
Because that's the thing in
Yeah.
Mexico. Like a lot of
Smart.
places don't give you a table unless you buy a bottle, like especially clubs.
Yeah.
But you cannot do that. Of like,
No.
I'll come
No,
tomorrow
no.
to continue.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
I actually think that's very smart. Imagine,
smart.
because it
Yeah.
kind of makes you have to go back to the same place.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you have to have like
Exactly.
4 or 5 bottles around the
Yeah.
city, right? Like,
so,
who wants that?
So the catch is that so it's not entirely free. So you pay for the bottle, but each time you come, you pay a
Opening fee.
opening like a
Yeah.
On corking, we call
cover
it.
charge.
Ah, yeah.
And
Okay.
I think converted is like it's like €3.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, man.
But here's the thing: they give you snacks for the whole time.
Wow.
So it could be like kimchi, banchans, you know, like like chips, you know, like So you do get some.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier. That's something that I mean, I don't know if that could work here. Because, for example, I used to think these.
Me and Kimo talked about it. Like,
for example, rodizio. There's a thing. This like the Brazilian swords. I thought it would never work here, but now I know that in Helsinki they're opening one. I don't know if they opened it already, but is this all-you-can-eat grilled meat? They put the Brazilian thing.
Yeah.
In Mexico, it's huge.
Yeah,
All the company
America's
parties
big
are
too.
in there.
Yeah.
And in Mexico, it's fairly cheap
Yeah.
to get that kind of thing. It's like a buffet with they make the meat on swords,
Yeah.
they grill
Yeah.
it, and
Yep.
then they
Yep.
come to your table.
Yeah.
And I thought that would never work in Finland because it would be insanely expensive.
Yeah.
And now I think I saw they're opening one in Helsinki, which is not cheap, but it's not as crazy as I thought.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe,
Like 40, 50 euros.
yeah. But maybe this would work then, because
I think in Helsinki, there's a lot of concepts that would work because it's a pretty international space with people that earn.
Yeah.
You know,
but
pretty
what I
decently.
mean is like in Mexico we have this concept where they're called botaneros, and let's say a beer will cost you, I don't know, it will cost you €1, but in those places it will cost you 150 or 2. But then I get a beer, and then what I was telling earlier, like you get one beer and then you get maybe a tiny soup, and then I get a second beer, and then maybe I get like a small fried fish for myself.
So it keeps you there, keeps you eating.
Yeah.
And when you have 3 or 4 beers, then you have the whole meal. And then they serve you a bit of rice, a bit of a stew, and this and that.
Okay.
And then you have a whole meal. And then if you keep eating, they keep bringing, like they will bring you a plate with cucumber and like lime chili. And then the next one will be these like chips and salsa. And then the
That's
next
smart. Yeah.
and everything is very salty. So of course it makes
It keeps you thirsty.
Keeps drinking.
So then the bar keeps selling. You keep there, like you keep people there. They're drinking, and maybe instead of having 3-4 beers, maybe I have 6-7. But I'm eating, so I'm not absolutely smashed.
Yeah.
So also, you don't get like these people that just you get smashed and go
Yeah,
crazy. It's
exactly.
like you're eating, you're
Yeah.
enjoying. So I
you're
think that's
talking
something that I
story.
miss.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
like I used to go to those very often because it's like you have a whole meal, you're drinking, and you're
Yeah.
and then when you're leaving, you're not smashed. Because I was eating the whole time and like I had a good time. I have maybe a bit more beers than I would usual.
Yeah,
but then I'm not wasted. You get the taxi, go home, and everything's fine.
I think the concept that Tam was talking about, the whole your personal bottle in a, I don't know if you remember the little dive bar that was next to the train station. I think it was like a blues jazz bar or something.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm thinking that, imagine that would be like a club bar where you might have like, I don't know, 100 members, but you can only fit 20, 30 members at a time.
Yeah.
You have a monthly subscription, but you do buy your bottle.
Yeah.
Right. And which means that, if you want to come this Friday, you're going to have to mark on the thing that you're coming.
Reserve it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
and you can only fit it
like
with
that.
30 people. And then you already have kind of like, for this price, I'm going to set this kind of meals for these guys. It's only my 30 guys, and that's what we're running with. But it's an exclusive thing, right? I think that could work, and I can see myself having my bottle of whiskey over there, because then I can come into the joint and be like, okay,
you know it's paid for, so you can spread the love however you want it. Yeah.
I'm coming in with
and
the
then
$20.
You pay the cover fee where you get some
That's my
snacks,
night.
peanut. Oh my god,
That's what it is.
if there's any investors out there that want to support this,
That makes that would be killer.
that would be dope.
That would be killer.
Write it down, man. You're gonna forget.
That blues bar is legendary.
It's so
legendary.
It's so good.
So I was fortunate to be here when it was open for a year or two before. Yeah, they closed dodown because, of course, leasing agreements, whatever. But you guys know Hanoi Rocks, the Finnish the band.
Yeah.
Yep, the lead singer is Finnish, and he was in that bar when I was there one time.
Wow.
Yeah, I forgot his name. Like somebody will fucking probably mention it. Yeah, it's very popular in Finland.
Nice.
But I was like, what? You know Hanoi Rocks? And like Google it. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, the place is legendary. I remember the guy with a cowboy hat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cowboy hat. Like, he speaks perfect English. I thought he was American.
Yeah.
Like, are you American? No, I'm Finnish. I'm like, what the fuck?
I like the fact that they had the alternative beers that people weren't really drinking. Like I had my first, I think it was at 11, 12% Belgian beer in that place, like Dunkers or whatever, like Dunkels. It was like a short little.
Yeah.
So we just go in there for beer tasting.
Yeah.
Because it was like, you get some, like the other bars aren't selling that. It's either you get your Carho or your Sandals or something. But they had those little.
I have no clue what bar you're talking about.
It's where that wine bar is now, next to
opposite Lidl, but on this side.
Cajo, Raventalo, Cajo.
Oh, Caillou.
No, so right next door at the wine bar.
Oh, the wine
that
bar.
That wine bar used to be the blues bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like maybe 10 people in there.
Yeah,
and
it was
packed.
super small.
Super small.
But it was so tight. It was so tight.
Yeah.
Really good place.
I think there's in Finland there's a space for so many concepts.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is that I think people are quite receptive for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think if they're nicely made, there's always people, as you said, Finnish people travel a lot, and I think the nice thing
They'll
is
be more open to it.
Yeah, because for example, I was living in Germany, and a lot of the guys who were opening these kind of ethnic restaurants and stuff, I had a few chats with them, with a few I knew, and they were saying like especially with a couple that have Mexican restaurants, and they were like, I need to adapt. I need to adapt the flavors, and I know this is not 100% Mexican, but otherwise people won't come here. I don't know if it has changed. This is 10 years ago, but I feel like here in Finland, people are way more open to try new things. And yeah, it's a bit hard because it's not everyone. So it's, of course, you need to kind of like start opening the market and start to slowly kind of like, you cannot just go crazy and be
that's
too
why
different.
I'm a bit
but slowly it's getting there.
disappointed that I hear that, I see that the concepts, they work in Helsinki, but they might not work here. I think this just has to do with the population
dynamics.
Yeah. Just like the density of Helsinki.
Yeah.
Just the ratio is just better of more people trying it here.
Yeah. And there's more diversity in Helsinki. Like, to be honest with you, like, if you have diversity and a diverse group of people that have access to different cultures and some money, you can really try some really good things. Like the African restaurant that was only in Turku, which is like a fine dining African restaurant, just opened up in Helsinki like 2 weeks ago, because finally you can do something like that. So Helsinki is starting to diversify, and there's a lot of interest in moving away from your regular panchovillas and like that, because like people like, finally we can get, and that's the population. These are first generation immigrants that came from home, and they know the flavors.
But
So
that's
they
exactly
want
the
that.
thing.
Yeah.
And I think what you're saying about diversity is important, because I see it, for example, in my last workplace and in this one, it has been the same. They're where should we go for lunch? Oh, should we go for this like Lucky Funds, or should we go for this or that? And it was a summer day. And I'm like, no. And this happened before, but it happened like recently. It's like, oh, no, actually, because I was working in a co-work space there now it's closed, next to Ratina. And we were working there. One of those weird days that I went to the office and met with the team. And they were talking like, oh, where should we go? A few suggestions pop up. I was like, no, mate, like it's summer. During summer in Laukontori, there's the Bad Hombres guy.
Yeah.
It's a guy from Sonora. He's from the north. He makes really good tacos. He's one of those like 2 food trucks that make really good Mexican food here. And I was like, let's go there, because we're around the corner basically. And they were like, oh yeah, but I don't know what's that. Like, oh, it's Mexican food. Oh, but what kind of Mexican food? Like, let's go.
Just fucking try it. Yeah,
and they make that day he was making birria.
Yeah.
And I always order from him tongue.
Yeah.
Because he makes really good tongue.
Yeah.
He overcooks it in the slow cooker overnight. And I went there with my colleagues. My colleague, for example, he's, I don't want to say his age, but he's a bit older than me. He's been living, like, he's Finnish. He has been living here. He lives outside of town. And you can see he's really open to try new things. And he's yeah, let's try it. Hey, should we do this? Yeah, let's do it. Hey, should we? Yeah, let's do. And so he's very open, but he just doesn't know that exists. And I was like, let's go. Yeah. This is the real thing.
Yeah.
And then we're having food there. And it's been like 2 or 3 times that I see him, and it's like, oh man, like it's a shame. Like, is the truck open there? No, it's a shame, man. We should go back there. It's like, and you can tell this guy, he just didn't know.
He didn't know.
He maybe, if he sees the truck, he's like, oh, I don't know. But then I took him, as you said, the diversity. I'm the guy in the company that's like, hey guys, let's go here.
Yeah.
And they're all finished. I don't know, like, oh, let's go try it. And then everyone loves it.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe all these people just need a push of like, hey mate, let's go there.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And then when they try it, they're like, man, I love this. I've never tried anything like this. This is good.
Yeah.
So you also need that diversity to kind of push people to, hey man, let's try this.
Yeah.
You always, like, any foreigner that takes you, I invite my Finnish friends here, or like my girlfriend's family who are Finnish, I'm going to make you Mexican food. And they're like, oh man, I didn't know this was like, this is crazy good. Yeah. For my darts team, I once made like cochinita. This is food from the south. Yeah. It's what the Mayans used to make. Wow. It's amazing.
Wow.
I was like, this is, but without this contact with someone from outside this culture, maybe you will have never tried this food.
Yeah.
So you always need this kind of like.
And that's the one like plus minus thing about social media, is that if you're over 55, 60, you're not on social media. No. So we had a party this weekend. I'm not gonna say the company, but it's a big company. We did a corporate Christmas party, and the group leader manager said, oh, thank you so much. Like, we got a recommendation from a friend, but we have so many people that cop in food that they didn't even know this place existed.
Wow.
And they live in Tampere.
Yes.
And they didn't even know. Because they're not on social media. It's like, as much as we try to push social media, there's one aspect of this older generation that want to try food, they don't have access. But how do they get connected to the restaurants? And hopefully it's through like word of mouth, word of mouth. Yeah. So we had a lot of good feedback, and I was surprised, like the 60-year-old man, like, Antex, thank you. I was like, oh,
nice.
And that's a really good compliment.
It is.
Exactly.
Well, for me, I love it because it may be different because you're on a restaurant, you probably get this more often, right? But for me, when I cook to someone, like, well, I've never tried these. These are so beautiful. Yeah. It's a very nice, like, it's nice for me to share, and it's also nice for me to see that you enjoy it, and that now you learn something new, and it's a very nice kind of interaction.
It's breaking down barriers, right? Well, but just to mention something about the difference between Tampere and Finland when it comes to like diversity. Tampere's like diversity percentage was somewhere around 10-11%. In Helsinki, that number is over 20% now. I think it's like 20-something%. And if you just talking population-wise, I think that regionally in Tampere we were somewhere around close to 300,000. So maybe we're talking about 30,000 immigrants. Helsinki is way bigger than that.
Yeah.
And then 20% of that is immigrants that are diverse. So, and if you talk about the greater Helsinki region with your Espoos and your Vantas,
even greater.
It's really bigger. And it's people that are working, that have started companies, that are doing some, like people that have money and that are also want to spend their money on things that they genuinely like.
Exactly.
So there's a whole new generation, a whole new target group of people that want to experience like as close to an original flavor as they can get, or a good interpretation of that is not as maybe what you would consider the traditional kind of like Finnish version of things. So that's why I feel like Helsinki is becoming a good, test bed for a lot of new restaurants, for a lot of new things. So yeah. It's good.
But as you said, if it's growing in Helsinki, eventually it will expand, right?
It's
I
going
think
to come.
if Helsinki,
Tampere is growing so
if it's
fast.
working in Helsinki, Tampere, Turku are growing.
Is it still
Is
it still the fastest growing city in Finland?
Helsinki, yeah.
The Tampere or Helsinki?
Tampere was last year. I don't know nowadays.
No, so Tampere gets a lot of internal migration. So like people that move from other cities within Finland.
Yes.
Tampere is winning. So shout out to Tampere from that on that. And they've also just become the second biggest, like now when they've done these employment regions.
Yeah.
So after Helsinki, the Tampere employment region is the second biggest employment region, right? Because all of these smaller municipalities have joined up behind one.
Yeah.
So the Tampere region is a force to be messed with, right? It's really getting, even with this well-being areas. Helsinki, so, and then when you have Helsinki, Tampere, Oulu, Turku, and Vantaa and Espoo, you have basically 66 to about 70% of all migration in just those cities.
Concentration.
Yeah. So these 6 cities are responsible for like the majority of work-based migration, the majority of the growth that the whole country has experienced ever since the year 2000 is just from the internationals that have moved to these cities. So Tampere is playing a big role in that. So is Helsinki and all of these other ones. And on that note, yeah,
that's interesting because I heard I read a statistic. I can't remember the exact number, but the amount of international students that's coming in for the masters has gone up.
Oh yeah,
year over year.
Oh yeah,
and it's gone up also. So
and the government has been talking about giving people that graduate in Finland with a master's degree permanent residency when they graduate, if you have enough language skills. So there's a motivation to keep highly educated migrants over here. But do highly educated migrants get work that matches their qualifications is a different conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is
in
that
the
is a
language,
big question.
it's a different conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for the next podcast.
The language I really want to talk because we're having we're in 3 very different levels kind of thing and very 3 different experiences with language. But I think that can be the next episode's topic.
Yes.
We'll take a small break for that.
Yeah, take a small break and then we'll ramp up again in end of winter.
Absolutely. And remember to like, subscribe, and follow us on unfinished.pod on Instagram, on Facebook, and follow our YouTube channel, and we'll catch you in season 2.
Yes, and please thank you to all the regulars that are watching and commenting.
Yeah.
But again, if you have different point of views, be sure to express it.
Yeah.
I see there's a couple regulars that are liking and sharing all the time, and shout out to you guys. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
If you want to learn how to make this sauce, Mexican in the kitchen. Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
It's cool.
But the rice recipe is there as well.
Yeah.
The mole, the shortcut version is there. The make it from scratch will come later. It's on the plans. But check it out as well.
Yeah, and check out for unfinished.pod merchandise next season as well.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah,
merch.
Yes.
And if you like my fish recipe, follow me on OnlyFans.
And if you like the salsa recipe, just check it out on YouTube.
Yes,
I don't have it yet.
Yes.
All right.
Just message us. He'll send you the recipe anyway.
Merry Christmas, guys.
He might send you a dick pic too, but who knows?